Hello everybody and welcome back to the FallenRedZeo. I'm back with more Star Wars Black Series figures, and this time we have the complete Star Wars Rebels waves from the Rebels TV show. And this is a very awesome looking wave. As you can see, we have the all new figures with the new boxes here in the nice purple color and the nice collage here of all the box arts put together. Very awesome looking. But these are mostly all remake figures. We've had up most of these before, pretty much from Chopper down to Ahsoka. We've had these all before. They've just kind of taken them, updated, redo the faces with the new face scans and everything, and then maybe changed a little bit of their colors and stuff. But we've had them before, so we're not looking at anything drastically new here. But the only new figure we have here is Zeb, which is the only new figure they had never released before, and then they finally made one with his different body form and everything. We haven't really had a character like that before, so it took them a while to get that one made. But it's awesome with the addition of Zeb that they did re-release the entire set, so that way we have the entire Spectre crew. So these all look awesome. Of course, I love the side box art with this new stuff, but all the figures look awesome in this new box. So there's like a picture, we have Zeb there, a picture of Zeb, and then of course his whole little story there, but just very awesome looking overall. Of course, he's like a deluxe figure, so he's going to be in a bigger box and everything, but just looks awesome, and I'm excited to check all these figures out. But I'm going to open all these figures and we will check these out together. And we're going to start off with Ezra Bridger, which is our main character from Star Wars Rebels, and he is a Force-sensitive human from the planet of Lothal, and he ended up joining the crew of the Ghost, and he ended up being trained as a Padawan under Kanan and Jarrus. So this is Ezra we've had before. In an earlier Black Series video, I did the original Ezra, so this one looks exactly the same, just they redid the face skin on him, so it made it look more realistic, where the other one looked kind of weird. But of course, it is a cartoon, so it's not really going to look too realistic, but you can see the nice blue eyes that kind of glow in there. And then he has the blackish style hair, but it has a little bit of blue tint in it. And then he's in his normal Ezra costume, so he has the orange jumpsuit with the brown leather jacket on over the top. It has the logo there on the back. He has a belt with holsters and pockets and all sorts of stuff there around his waist. Green gloves on his hands, and down his legs on the right, he has a little armor padding there. And then on the left, he has his pant leg cut off with the brown underneath and the brown shoes on his feet. So as I said, looks exactly like the Ezra we've had in the past, so nothing too crazy going on here. Again, they just kind of updated probably some of the colors and then that face scan. But for his movements, those head there can twist all the way around. For the neck, doesn't really have much movement at all. It's just a little bit of rocking back and forth. He can nod yes. His shoulders come up to 90 degrees there and can rotate around. He's got the single elbow joint there that bends up that far, a little over 90 degrees, and it has the rotation. And then we get the wrist that twists around and can flex back and forth a little bit, but because of his sleeve, it kind of sticks up, so you don't really get a lot of movement in the wrist. The right in his midsection, we have an ab crunch. He can rock back and forth there a little bit and tilt side to side, but he does twist all the way around there. Down his hip joints, we have some hip movement. Don't really get a whole lot, like we can only get a little bit of movement back and forth. I don't know if it's all the bands on his legs or just the way it's designed, but it's kind of like fighting against it, so you can't really get it too much higher there, but it can go out to the side a little bit, and a thigh twist all the way around. Then we got a double knee joint that can bend up that far in the back, and then the foot can flex back and forth there and can twist side to side. And Ezra comes with the same accessories he had before, so we get his lightsabers with his specialized hilt that has a blaster in it as well, so you can see the blaster part there, and then the lightsaber. So let's go ahead and stick this in his hand. And then he also comes with the Stormtrooper helmet that he stole and has painted over and everything. And with this, you can slide it onto his head. It is kind of a tight squeeze, but you can slide it there onto his head, but you can take it off and maybe just kind of have him hold it or something there, just like that. So there we got Ezra all in his gear, and again, still a great figure and an awesome start to our Rebels group. And our next figure is of Kanan Jarrus, our ex-Jedi Padawan who survived Order 66 thanks to his master, and he eventually met Hera and joined her rebel group, where he ended up forming a relationship with her, and then eventually became the Jedi mentor to Ezra. So Kanan here looks pretty cool, looks identical to the cartoon, looks very awesome with his long hair pulled into the short ponytail there in the back. He has his little beard there right on his chin that I think looks cool, but the face looks really good overall. Again, it's based on a cartoon, but I think it looks pretty realistic, so that's pretty cool. And to his outfit, we have this green shirt on that has like some darker green leather up on the sleeve and up around the collar, and then a lighter green there in the midsection that has lines through it, which I think the texture looks cool. It's just a weird shirt. And then over on his right arm, he does have this armor plate, so it looks like this big giant metal armor piece there. Of course, you can see the strap that goes around there, and up on the shoulder, he has the logo there. I don't know what all the logos are going to stand for, all these figures, but it's still really cool there. It reminds me of like Sauron from Lord of the Rings, but then it has some weird texture piece going on under there, so it's like he has a different sort of material there on his arm, but it's a weird material. I don't even know how to describe the black underneath there, but still got more armor pieces in the dark silver over there that goes all the way down to his gloved hand. And as usual, he has a belt with some pockets and a holster there on his waist. Going down, he has some what look like to be some jeans or something, but they have a blue tint to them in color bluish gray, and the texture and stuff reminds me of jeans. And then some dark and light brown boots. They actually look pretty decent. I like the look of those boots. So overall, he's pretty basic. I don't see a whole lot that stands out to him, except for the design up on his shoulder pad. Other than that, I just think he's just a pretty standard humanoid figure. So for his movements, his head there there can twist all the way around. You have to kind of force it because of his ponytail, and then move up and down there. It can rock back and forth. Shoulders come up a little bit there, but the other one, which is more exposed, can come up to 90 degrees, rotate all the way around. He's got the single elbow joint, bends up 90 degrees there, and has the rotation, and then the wrist can twist around and flex back and forth. He has that crunch right in there that can barely crunch at all, just kind of a little shaking back and forth, but can twist all the way around. Hips come up to 90 degrees there, out to the side that far. He's got the thigh twists in there. We'll probably do this one better. Yeah, thigh twist all the way around. Double knee joint that can bend up that far, and then the foot can flex back and forth and can twist side to side. And for accessories, he comes with his lightsaber. So we got his awesome lightsaber hilt there, just a really unique design. So we got the lightsaber there, and he does have some little like pieces sticking out of it. So I assume the one at the top here, if you take the blade off, you know you can attach it onto his belt. So he has this belt which is a little piece there. So I guess you could kind of just stick it in there, or maybe it goes upside down, like, which does fit a lot better upside down, but then I feel it's sticking real high up into his body and stuff. I don't know, but it does fit a lot better in there. Or on the actual handle, we do have a longer one, and it looks like it can go onto the back here where he has a hole, so you can just take and stick it right in the back there, and it'll kind of just stick on the back of his belt, which is pretty cool. But I rather just have it in his hand. And then he also comes with this gun as well, which is a pretty standard looking gun, and you can put it in either hand. It looks like they both have trigger fingers, but I'm just going to throw it into his holster. And I feel this figure is really plain, but I still think it looks awesome there for Kanan and Jarrus. And our next figure is Hera Syndulla, and she is a Twi'lek from Ryloth, which we actually saw her in the Clone Wars series. We saw her family and everything, but she ended up becoming a central figure in the start of the rebellion, and she is the pilot of the Ghost, which is the ship that the Spectre crew flies in. And so she's one of our pivotal characters in the Rebel series. And so she is a Twi'lek, so she does have the tendrils hanging down there in the back, and she is a green colored Twi'lek. And I like the paint even there on the tendrils and stuff, that details, I really like that. She has her head covering goggles on her head. Going down her outfit, looks like she has a tan body glove on with some dark brown armor, so up on her shoulder and her chest, and she's got brown gloves on her hands. And then it looks like we go to a standard pilot orange jumpsuit there, but it even has the little straps coming off the belt that go around her legs. And going down, we got her brown boots, where she does have a little holster there right on her ankle. So very cool looking figure overall, I think. For her movements though, her head there can twist. It's going to be hard because of her tendrils, but you can get it to twist all the way around, fight it around her shoulders, and then she can look down and look up a little bit. Again, her tendrils are going to hit on the back, so you have just a little bit of rocking back and forth there. Shoulders come up 90 degrees, rotate all the way around. She's got the single elbow joint there that bends up to 90 degrees and has the rotation, and then we get the wrist that twists all the way around and flex back and forth. Her grab crunch is right here at her waist, where she can just rock back and forth again, but she can twist side to side, and if you force, you probably get her all the way around, but just the way it's designed, it's really stiff, so we're just going to leave it there. Her hips can come up 90 degrees, out to the side that far. She's got a thigh twist that can twist all the way around, a double knee joint that bends up that far in the back, and her little holster here keeps falling off because it's not like glued in or anything, so I'll probably have to glue that in there, but her foot can flex back and forth and can twist side to side. And the only accessory she comes with is a little gun here, so you can put that into her holster, but we'll go ahead and just stick it into her hand. So I really enjoyed this Hera, and I think she looks awesome, and of course a great addition and necessary addition to our Spectre crew. And the next figure is Sabine Wren, which is our female Mandalorian character. And of course, like all the others, she's a member of the Spectre crew. But kind of a big part of the story for her is that she came into possession of the Darksaber and helped lead the Mandalorian Civil War back on her home planet of Mandalore. So she looks pretty awesome. So one thing that stands out immediately is her hair, which of course we see her in the show. And then now here, she has the bright colored hair. So she has purple hair in the back, bright orange in the front. You can see some of the purple coming through, which I think is awesome. And then we got the new face skin, which I think looks great as well. Again, looks very humanish, even though it's a cartoon. And then we've got her Mandalorian armor that she's modified for herself, so she can have better range of movements, but she has the body glove on underneath that looks like in a dark gray and a light gray. And then she's got the armor that, again, she's modified to be able to fit her, so she can have more maneuverability. So she has the chest covering right there, and then she has the pauldrons up on her shoulders, each with different like logos and designs. So that one looks like a weird dragon or dog or just some sort of thing. Then we have like a checkerboard design on the other. Then going down her gloves, she's got gray gloves with some paint splatter all over them, which also match the boots as well, which I like that detail. Just all that paint splatter, it looks very awesome. And then she's got some brown pants with dark brown and light brown in the center, some holsters on the side of her thighs. Then she has some maroon knee pads going down to the boots that we already saw with the gray that have all that paint splatter of the white and orange on it that I again think looks awesome. It's just a great looking figure. This is probably one of my favorite looking ones so far. So for her movements, her head can twist all the way around there, and she can look down and look up, so probably is the best movement of all the neck so far. Shoulders come up to 90 degrees there and can rotate around. She's got the single elbow joint to 90 degrees and the rotation, wrist twist around, and flex back and forth. Ab crunch right under her chest, but she doesn't really crunch at all. Like, she's just like super stiff, like no movement at all, but she can twist side to side there. Hips come up 90 degrees out to the side that far. Thigh twist all the way around. Double knee joint that bends up that far in the back, and then the foot flexes back and forth and can twist side to side. And for accessories, she comes with her Mandalorian helmet here, so her purple helmet, which looks awesome again with all the additional paintings and everything on it, but looks awesome there. So with this, we can go and stick it on our head, so you can see her hair is kind of laying flat, so we can just take the helmet and kind of shove it right on. It is real hard to get on, but if you can just shove it right on there, so it kind of sticks on like that, which I think it's a little bit too bulky on her head. I think it looks a little bit weird, but it's probably just because she has a pretty normal looking head underneath, so they had to make the helmet bigger to fit on it, but I don't really like that look too much for her. So for the moment, we'll just leave that off of her and set it aside. And then she comes with, like all the other Mandalorians, the Westar 35 blaster pistol. So she has 2 pistols that of course you can put into her holsters, but we'll put them each in her hand. So there she's dual wielding like all the other Mandalorians we have. And then she comes with this other device that I don't know what it is. To me, it kind of looks like something you'd use to like work on a ship. So some sort of like wrench or torch or something like that. It's got all sorts of looks and buttons, but I don't know exactly what it is. But like I said, I just assume it's some equipment to like work on the ship and everything. So as I said, I think this Sabine is definitely my favorite out of the crew so far. I just think she looks awesome. All the colors and everything just stand out so much. I just think the figure looks amazing. And our next crewmate is Chopper, or C-110P, and he is a C-1 series astromech droid, and his main job is he's responsible for maintaining the ghost. But especially if you've seen him in the series, he's known for his cranky personality and just his antics and everything he gets up to. Such a fun little astromech droid, but you can see he looks very similar to R2-D2. He's just more squat, and then he has more of like the trapezoid style shape, I guess you'd call his head, instead of the rounded like R2-D2's. He has the little antenna thing there on his head. Of course, it would be like his little eyes or something, just scanners stuff there. He has his little hands that can pop out the side of his head, so there's the little forceps there that can stick out, and he always likes to wave around and do all sorts of stuff like rah, 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 rah. So it's fun that we got the arms, and of course they can move around and adjust and everything, and you can easily just close them back up inside if you don't want them sticking out. But of course for Chopper we need them out. And then he's just got this normal body where he does have the 2 different legs, although they don't look much different. So we have that leg, which is his normal leg, and then we have 320, and then we have his newer leg when he lost his old one that he got the replacement. On the front of him we do have another little forcep thing that can stick out here, so a little thing with the little clamps there, and it does have a little bit extra movement, but not really a whole lot going on there, so we can fold it back up. And then the rest is just all the pieces and design. Here you can see he's dirty, kind of like put together with some pieces and stuff attached onto him, so not the best looking droid ever, but for his movements, his head can twist all the way around there, his arms can move all the way around there, and he does have little joints on his feet that can rock back and forth a little bit there, but it's not that much movement, unfortunately. And that's really all there is for him. He does have rollers on his feet, so he can roll around as well, but I think he just looks awesome there. But the accessories he comes with, we get his middle wheel, so a little wheel here you can just take and stick barely up inside of there, and it gives it the extra wheel so you can roll around like with the 3rd wheel like R2-D2 does, or if you don't want it sticking out, you can push it all the way up in there and it'll just kind of be hidden. We get his other original leg, so if you don't want to have this extra leg that was added on, you can replace it for his other leg, so he has 2 matching ones. But the coolest part is he also comes with the flame effect here that you can stick him onto, so it's like he's flying off in the air. So again, we have this extra piece that goes up inside of him, so you can just stick it up in there, and then the little flame plume there at the bottom, it's kind of pressing off the ground. You can just take and slide him in, and I think when I reviewed the past one, I just kind of stuck it in there and he'd keep like falling over, but it does look like there is like a certain way for the flame to go in that kind of keeps him stable there. So there he's all flying up in the air trying to fly off to somewhere else, so that's pretty cool. I always love this about the Chopper, is the little flame effect just to have him flying across there. And our final crew member is Zeb, or Garazeb Orrelios, and he is a male Lasat, which is this species of creature, so it kind of looks weird, and he is actually one of the very few remaining Lasats after the attack on his planet, but he looks very awesome. He's this big bulky character, you know, kind of has that Chewbacca roll, which this kind of is the concept art for the original Chewbacca, but he looks pretty awesome. I like his purple skin, has a little bit of purple and then some tan color like there on his forearms and everything, but I really like that. But then we got his suit, which I wish was a little bit brighter in colors. I don't like the pale colors of this, but has a green color there around his neck that go into his shoulder pads there, and on this one he has kind of a design. It reminds me of like an Acklade, like creature from the Geonosis arena. Kind of reminds me of that, just with the green and the teeth and everything. And then he has a brown and yellow bodysuit there, green belt around the waist with some buttons on it, and then the legs go all the way down to his knees where he got some knee pads, and then it goes back to his normal skin tone, so we have some more of the purple there, and then go down to his feet, so you can see he stands up weird on his feet and everything. So it's hard to get him to stand sometimes, to get him to stand straight up with all the different bends and everything going through his leg, but it's not too bad there, and I think it looks really cool. So for his movements, his head there can twist all the way around, just very little shaking back and forth. He doesn't really even have joints, just a ball up in his head. Shoulders come up 90 degrees and rotate around. We have the single elbow joint, bends 90 degrees there and has the rotation. And then we got the wrist twist around and can flex back and forth. It has a little bit of an ab crunch right behind the belt there, so he can rock back and forth there, but he can twist all the way around there. Hips come up a little bit, probably under 90 degrees still, but just a little bit of movement back and forth there. He has a thigh twist all the way around that's real stiff. A double knee joint here that can bend up that far in the back, so he can kick his own butt. And then he has all the additional joints, so as well, I guess like an ankle joint style here, and that can move back and forth like that. And then he has the lower joint as well that can rock back and forth there and has a little bit of twisting in it. And again, if you mess around with his feet too much, it'll be hard to get him to stand, so you just have to kind of get him in a position and keep him there. And his accessory is the bow rifle, which is a combination of an electro staff and a blaster rifle. So we have this here, and this is in the folded up form, so we have the two pegs that are sticking off it on each side, and he has the peg holes there in his back, so you can take and just pop them right on there, so it kind of stores it away there on his back. But we can go ahead and expand it out for the combinations. So there's the different combinations you can do with this. They do different things, which I kind of confused on a bunch of it. Of course, it does have the electricity coming out at the end of it, which normally wouldn't always have the electricity, but it looks like you can't really pop these off very easily, so you'll just have to leave it on. But to put it in the gun mode or the rifle mode, you just bend this down, so it kind of creates a handle there in the trigger. So there's the rifle, so we have the top of the rifle and everything, so the parts shoot out there. Or we can expand it out to the staff, so you just pull right at the center, and it kind of expands out, and then these also expand out as well, so if you want that into the staff, you can bend it like that. But usually when it's in staff mode, you also then twist it around and kind of get these all lined up, and he holds onto it there and stuff, so it's kind of like a fighting staff there with the electricity on each of it, which again, it's kind of confusing and really hard to get into his hand. So I think I'll probably just leave it in the gun mode most of all, if not on his back in the all folded up mode, but just kind of leave it there like that and kind of put it in his hand like this. So there, I just put it in the rifle mode like that, and that looks pretty awesome there for Zeb. And our final figure of the wave is Ahsoka Tano, which is, of course, is our ex-Jedi Padawan, and a Togretta female, which is one of my favorite species in the Star Wars universe. But they have the head tails in different designs and a base skin color, which for her is orange, and then the white detailings on their face. So this Ahsoka looks awesome. Of course, this is when she's older, so she's more of an adult in this form, and she's very similar to the Ahsoka that we got from the Walmart exclusive Clone Wars Series 1. She's pretty much got a lot of the same body, like the legs and the arms and the head and everything. They just kind of changed her body, which I do believe this one came out first, so it's technically the other one ripped off this one, but still looks great overall. So she's got a lot of like really dark purplish or like maroon colors like on her breastplate and on her forearms and around her belt and everything, then some lighter tan like skirting there, and some darker brown there on her actual skirt and her actual outfit and everything. But I still think she looks really cool. I think I like the Clone Wars one a little bit better just because of the colors, but this one still looks great also. But for a moment, her head there can twist side to side. She looked just back and forth a little bit, again because of her head tails. She doesn't really have a whole lot of movement. Shoulders come up 90 degrees and rotate around. She's got the single elbow joint, bends up to 90 degrees there and has the rotation, and then of course the wrist can twist around and flex back and forth. She has ab crunch right in here under her chest, so she can rock back and forth there and twist all the way around. Her hips come up 90 degrees out to the side that far, thigh twist all the way around in there, a double knee joint that bends up just that far in the back, and then the foot flexes back and forth and can twist side to side. And with it being Ahsoka, since she is a former Jedi, she does have her lightsabers, but she has her newer ones, so she has more of what her like white lightsabers since she's not really a Jedi. But then she has also the cool handle, so she has more like the Count Dooku style handle there with the curved blade one, and this is a normal linked lightsaber, and then she also has the shorter linked lightsaber since she does like to have two of them. So these are awesome that we can put in her hand, and of course if we wanted to take the blades out, we could then hook them there on the sides of her waist, but we'll just go and stick both of these into her hand. And there we got Ahsoka looking awesome, and of course she joins up with the Rebels crew every now and then as well to help them out with different things, and then it has connections because of Ezra being a Jedi and all that. So I think she's an awesome addition to go along with our Rebels crew. So there we got our entire Rebels crew, which looked just awesome. I absolutely love having all of these together in one wave. So that's gonna be it for our Star Wars Black Series wave of the Star Wars Rebels figures, and let me know in the comments, have you picked up this new wave to complete your Rebels group? But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.